I've been living in Vanity City my whole life. Born at Mount St. Joseph over on Prince Edward. This is my city. I know it up and down. I've been a bike courier for 15 years now. And because of that, I get to be all over this city on a regular basis. And I'll tell you, I have seen some crazy shit. Everybody always asks me, dude, you ever see The Free Runner? I'm like, man, you wouldn't believe what I've seen. This city is full of freaks and weirdos, just like The Free Runner and Stranger. But he's the only one anybody ever talks about. It seems like everybody's seen him at one time or another, and I guess a lot of people find him kind of entertaining. If you ask me, I think he leans into it, the weird sort of quasi-fame he has with his whole style and everything. But there's other folks out there in the city, people who've been affected or afflicted, sort of like he was. In South Van, there's a bunch of freaky siblings that live in a big old house over around Fraser and 49th. Their mom was part of some drug experiment back in the 90s, and now she's got a half dozen kids, all with glowing green eyes and dark gray hair. I seen them creeping around the alleys at night, skulking in the shadows like a bunch of feral cats. Their eyes light up when they look at folks, like they're targeting you for extermination or something. And in Chinatown, there's that guy who's got a pair of crab claws growing out of his back. I heard that was from something that was done to him during the war, but nobody can tell me which war. It was during a war anyway. There's always one going on. There's other people too, all over the city. Nothing real impressive, nothing that makes the news, but still real people with real lives. This is the world we live in. It's like a post-9/11 world, a post-COVID. Now we're a post-human world. Maybe when you walk past that street punk, that homeless guy, that old lady on the bus, maybe you notice they got lizard skin or little horns growing out of their spine. Nothing useful, nothing you'd call superpowers, just people being a little different. Some people are threatened by that. No freaks, not in my city, not in my schools, not around my children. To that I say, look around yourself, dude. There's all kinds of freaks out there. They've been out there for years, more than most people realize. And at the same time, I figure this is just what happens. We cut back on environmental regulations to make the city more attractive to various scientific industries. And now we got a city full of glow-in-the-dark rats with liquid nitrogen for blood. Now we got homeless folks who allow themselves to get shot up with experimental genetic destabilizers for a couple $100 just so some lab geek can chart the results. The lucky ones get mutagenic cancers. What about that guy who was found half melted into a sewer drain? He looked like a candle that had been put in a microwave. I heard they only managed to save a few bits of him, and the rest just slipped into the drain like a pile of wet snot. This is our city. This is where we all live. And you can see so much if you just keep your eyes open, like I do. You'll hear the mayor and the police saying that all this is a result of illegal drugs and violent anarchist gangs that want to terrorize decent people. They say the city is full of these malcontents who are shooting themselves up with unstable substances to get high and to become more impressively violent problems for society. And I guess there's some truth to that. There's a few wackos out there who just like hurting people. Always has been, always will be. But there's a larger industry, churning away behind the scenes, making billions, and ignoring the consequences of their actions. They'll point at the runner and say, "Oh, he's the worst of them. He's the one inspiring all this. He's the one they need to deal with." But the fact is, he's a symptom of a much larger issue that nobody wants to talk about. There's so much going on out there. Last week, when I was biking through Nelson Park, downtown, I saw a little girl with no eyes talking to some birds. And the birds, they were talking back to her, like they could all understand each other. It was beautiful to watch, not that I could follow a word of it. That's just one of the many interesting and strange things you can find in this town that have got nothing to do with the free runner. The 20 kids a year that are kidnapped from off the streets, primarily from lower income neighborhoods, kids who are later revealed to have been used as test subjects in illegal scientific experiments, they've got nothing to do with the free runner either. But word is that the runner was a victim of such treatment himself. And now he's going up against the cops. The same cops who tell us we got nothing to be afraid of, except people like the free runner. The same cops who get massive bonuses and equipment upgrades every time the city signs a $1 billion deal to let more unstable labs open up within city limits. My friends say that I'm being paranoid, but I say it's all happening right out in the open, and it's just that nobody wants to say anything about it. Nobody wants to stop the gravy train when everybody's getting paid. We're like one of those cities with an asbestos mine. What are you going to do, shut it down? You going to lose all those jobs just because some poor folks are getting sick or going missing? This city is full of weird stuff. You want to know what else I've seen? Shit. I've seen it all. Bombing up and down Main Street, chasing the 99 Beeline bus down Hastings. I've been doing the city on two wheels for as long as I can remember, so I know what's what. I ain't the fastest on a straightaway, but in downtown traffic, man, I will lay you to waste, yo. There's those rich kid leather punks who seem to live somewhere around Gastown or the East End. They all got weird mutations and some deformities, and they'll fuck you up if they catch you in their territory after dark. Real mean assholes. My buddy Trevor said one of them zapped him with a bright pink eye beam that cracked a couple of Trevor's ribs. There's rumors of something living down around the Falls Creek area, like something that ain't human, maybe from down in the water, some kind of fish monster or something. In another city, I'd say that's just crazy talk, but in this place, you never know. You never know. What else? There's labs all over town doing secret experimental shit. You know anything about teleportation technology? Or can you imagine like a hole in space that's also a door to another dimension? I heard about that from this janitor dude who mops floors in this place, where he says they do some wild shit you couldn't even dream of. Windows to other worlds, that sort of thing. If you believe in that sort of thing. I don't know if I do. But everywhere I go, all anybody ever wants to talk about is the free runner. 'Cause he's the cool one, the counterculture one. Friendly, but edgy, right? People love that sort of shit. I mean, hell, I love that sort of shit. Fuck the police, right? You gotta figure that probably the runner gets treated like a figurehead because he's the most visible, the most obvious, and because he won't back off the cops. But he's not the only weird thing going on. I've been all over this city, and I've seen a lot of weird shit. And I'm not special. Anybody could see what I've seen. You just gotta keep your eyes open, you know?